Hello and welcome to today's Crypto and Stocks TA live stream with me, No FOMO Charts. It is Sunday, 10/16/2022. It's just about 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time at night, Sunday night here in the USA. Earnings season in the stock market continues this week. We have companies such as Bank of America, Netflix, Tesla, Alaska Airlines, and American Express, just to name a few companies that are reporting their quarterly earnings this week. We have a few economic data releases, such as two manufacturing indexes, and then some of the unemployment claims and existing home sales economic data that comes out like usual. There are some global news changes, especially with the UK, with the currency policy changes there. Some of the global bank interest rate changes over the past couple of weeks. And just consumer and also CEO confidence sentiment in the stock market and the economy right now is starting to shift a little bit more towards a shallow type of recession outlook. Also, the housing market has definitely been affected by the increase in interest rates. And also, we're going into the winter season with potential for we're just watching for the COVID infection rates and if they are low or high this winter as well. So, how does that affect the stock charts? Well, first off, we have to look at the S&P 500. We have a couple major companies reporting earnings this week, but let's start off with the SPY. So, we already have this Fibonacci from last week stream, pandemic low to pandemic high. We're not exactly right at the 50%, but if you saw my TradingView idea, is that we're near a support zone, this trend line. Okay, so above the yellow box, right at this blue line, diagonal trend line. Okay, last Friday was quite a volatile day. We had a rally on Thursday and then a pullback crash on Friday. So that was actually kind of technical based as well as earnings, the CPI data, but there was a technical setup. On Thursday, we rallied, but then the rally was very, very short lived. The only good bullish setup that is potentially here, okay, this is depending upon earnings, is there. This could be a double bottom right at the blue line. Okay, so the stop loss at the bottom could be something like 3% in terms of a swing trade. 3% of a smaller amount of capital example for anyone who wants to learn is with the 6% target, because the resistance, it could be a 3% target and also a 6% target and then a stop loss. So already into this type of thinking, there's an entry, there's a stop loss with defined risk, and then there's two targets for potential long for two profit targets above. So I'm watching this very closely. To support my idea on my profile still stands. I still stand by that, because if this support holds for a very long time, meaning a month, then we could see price attempt to rebound one more time. Okay, that's the bullish scenario. There's also a neutral scenario where we just go sideways in a channel for could happen for a month until earnings is over if it's very mixed. And then the bearish scenario is once we lose this support, we could definitely see, just like you're already seeing on NASDAQ, is we already had the pullback, the retest, and then it's already down in terms of a trend. So this critical area of trendline support and then Fibonacci 50% retrace, which is why I drew this yellow box here, is the support on our downside for the S&P 500. One thing I do want to note here is that even though we are in a downtrend, there is some momentum building on some of these oscillators. On the bottom side, the RSI and the MACD. The daily, there's some bullish momentum. The 4-hour, there's a little bit of bullish momentum. The 1 hour, it's not quite super oversold, but there is, if this turns into a higher low above 357, then we could see just a quick rally. Okay, I'm not going to trust futures 100% because it's the Asia session, going to Europe. the more accurate price data in terms of making a day trade decision will be tomorrow morning. Okay, let's flip over to QQQ really quick. So to contrast what I'm just saying, and again, hello, welcome to TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch. Welcome to the stream. On the day chart, QQQ, all right, it's a little bit different. Why is it different? So in terms of the support trend line, we're actually under it, depending on which trend line I'm actually drawing here. So if we draw, let's see. There's multiple here, selections possible. We could say more accurate. So if we enclose all the price, it's still floating here. Let me check something 1 second. Okay. So what I mean to say was this horizontal, okay, the left to right. So contrasting to S&P 500, if I draw the horizontal box this way, left to right, then you could see the price is under the horizontal support level, okay? If we look at this trend line, the yellow trend line, there's quite a ways drop for bears to target all the way down to 237 range, which actually matches somewhere in the range 234, our pandemic high back here. Before the pandemic, this was the highest price of the high price of the NASDAQ QQQ. So that can be the fresh target for bears, which could be bad. So we look at the three scenarios and try to figure out, all right, what's most likely going to happen? Well, with NASDAQ, it's a little bit more sold off here. All right, we're not holding like the S&P 500 with this potential double bottom. It's not happening with the NASDAQ. So the only good thing with the NASDAQ is we have Netflix earnings that's going to kind of kick off the tech sector earnings and a little bit of Tesla, a little bit. So, you know, if Netflix has any type of good earnings, there could be a higher chance of some kind of pop rally, at least even if it's short-lived, because we even box in the most recent resistance. It could be a descending wedge breakout. It's definitely possible. It could happen, or can continue to downtrend or a lower low, right? But like I'm saying is, even if it's in a daily downtrend, right, the 4-hour is still on the lower side. It's not quite super oversold, still downtrending. The EMAs are obviously down crossed, right? The 1-hour, not quite super oversold. So a earnings catalyst could really push us up or down. That's why I'm so attentive to earnings right now. I'm very sensitive to the earnings. It's mixed, so you can see in the market the psychology of people. Some people believe we're going up. Some people believe inflation is peaked. Some people believe that it's not over yet. You know, it depends on the data that people are looking at. So just want to caution people on tech stocks is we could drop in a bearish scenario all the way down to 235 first, and then reverse to the upside next year or next quarter. However, in the bullish scenario, if everything just happens to bounce up this week, then it'll definitely stop right here, and then this could turn into some kind of upside down head and shoulders and retrace maybe back up to 286, etc. Okay, so just giving two scenarios. Let's just get this Fibonacci up for next time. It's approaching the 618 level as well, just right above it. Thursday, we tapped into the 618 zone, which could be why there were big buyers waiting right at this level, 255.65. And then this pullback red candle on Friday is just the retest of this support level. So there is technically a support level here, even though it's intraday. It's 255, 257 area. I'm watching that very closely. If it breaks out, that would be beautiful for the bulls. Just something to watch out for. Let's go to Dow Jones. DIA. Dow Jones acting a little bit more like the S&P 500 right now in terms of the support level we established. just below 290. So 290 down to 286 in the price on this day chart. Still in a downtrend, but the fact that we got a little bit of support down here is a little bit of good relief. And this pullback here is not even huge major problem yet, right? If the pullback goes below the support level, we close, retest, and reject from it, then we have confirmed downtrend continuation. It is not happening yet. So S&P 500, Dow Jones, it's not over yet in terms of throw in the towel, quit the market. Far from it. It's just a mixed earnings reaction based upon inflation and interest rate as well. It is still downtrending. Okay. Let's just keep in mind though, the downside risk is when we had the pandemic high to low in the March 2020 is about negative 40% to the downside. If we measure our top of January 2022 all the way down to last Thursday, it's only negative 21%. So that's why a quote from, say, Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, it makes sense why he said we can go down another 20% in stocks. Definitely possible. We're not even anywhere near the 50% or 618 retrace in a long-term setup. So that's why this support level is going to be critical. It's key level of support right now based on earnings reactions and reports. So the two scenarios I'm looking at, if it's a bullish scenario, there could be, again, a small stop loss. This one, still using this example of 2-to-1 risk to reward, or excuse me, 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio in this potential bullish setup. But if we lose this low, I guarantee some bears out there are probably going to do this setup, right? The short setup, as soon as we lose this blue low to the downside. So we could pull back, no problem, right? The big number in the set is 286.79. Still in the downtrend here. It's not quite completely oversold, but I do like that on Tuesday of last week, we established this 291 higher low. That's good. Okay, so we're basically just stuck here. A little bit of consolidation on this 4-hour. Okay, I'm hoping it's a higher low, make another higher low and try to get out of here in the bulls. That'd be nice. But if it crashes down, no problem. No problem. Right? We already kind of did the TA on it. Right? The price on the 1-hour just barely holding above this EMA right here. It's the 100 EMA on the 1-hour as well. It's not quite super oversold on Dow Jones. So I'd be a little more careful about Dow Jones than S&P and NASDAQ as well. Okay, let's move on here. Something I just want to point out in the energy sector, we're at some kind of relative top resistance. Okay, so it's kind of the opposite of the S&P right now, in that on the yellow bar up here, the blue bar, it is in a resistance zone. Now, yes, there is some issues with supply chain still, but on the weekly, this is not the strongest spot to be as a bull, right? Because if we draw some of these lines, because this kind of reminds me of Bitcoin when it topped out at 65,000. The chart sort of looks something like this, where it was an ascending triangle, but it was an ascending triangle at the top of a move. Okay, this ascending triangle here, but after a huge rally up. So if it doesn't break out and sustain above, let's say 80, 90, especially 90, the highest high in XLE, it could pull back and then actually fail. That's what happened to Bitcoin. So this is something I'm watching very closely. If we reject down, there's a short opportunity here. If it breaks out, okay, great. Bulls, breakout, continuation setup on XLE and maybe some energy stocks as well, right? There might be some kind of reverse correlation with the stock market. So that's why I'm watching it very closely right now. But this does remind me of Bitcoin before it crashed. We'll see what happens here. Just want to point that out. It's at a resistance point. If we draw some of these closing lines here, this box in the support, box in the resistance on top, okay? If we look at it this way on a weekly chart, it's just stuck in the middle of this range in terms of high, low, and it's kind of in the middle of the range. So it's going to be up to a little bit of the fundamentals, some news, still uptrending, but hesitating and struggling there. If it rejects multiple times, that could become a problem. And it's not at any oversold bounce level. We already bounced 20% up in 3 weeks. The 4 hour still uptrending, the 1 hour. So there could be some kind of continuation day trade bounce, right? It could crash and then bounce. Like tomorrow morning, it could do something like that. Just a general forecast. Just something to watch out for in XLE. Now, if we flip over to something like XLF, it's different. It's near the support level. Okay, the financial sector, it's like the opposite, right? It's holding the support above the blue yellow line. And if this is a true double bottom, this is what I'm talking about. If we have good earnings, we could have a repeat of the box price action, which would be bullish. It's definitely possible. Something to watch out for. It could take a month, but 15%, that's a good swing trade, right? So in terms of, let's just say if this thing goes bullish, right? 3%, 6%, you can get 9%. And then if it goes really extended, 15, 20%, right? But that's at best. So, if somebody wants to do a tight stop loss, it could be like a 1% stop loss and 3% target at the bottom here. If somebody's trying to buy right now, then it has to be 3% stop loss. It's not really a great risk to reward. It's just 1-to-1 almost, unless somebody's going to hold and try to predict a 6% rally, which could happen. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Appreciate it. So this is the bullish setup. If it happens, this is all earnings contingent. Please keep in mind. Let's just say if Netflix earnings are bad, if Tesla earnings are bad, if Bank of America earnings are bad, if this week, if what else is there? Let's just say one of the airline companies like United Airlines is just really bad, or Goldman Sachs, right? This is probably not going to go up, obviously, right? It's going to pull back. There's something to watch out for. And then the short setup is somebody could have shorted here, right? There's a beautiful setup. It's at 1-to-3. Or somebody might wait for the break of the support, right, to get the 1-to-3. So something to just think about and watch. All right, let's move on really quick. US oil. All right, US oil, I just want to point out in terms of the price action, I'm not going to harp on this too much, but it is still downtrending to the side. Okay, still downtrending to the side, going sideways like this. Just want to watch out for that. Okay, we already had the rally and it's pulling back right now. In terms of the support level, we could use, let's just say this level. We already bounced up that 618, holding above the 50%. Now, natural gas, UNG is different. See, it's holding above the support level, a little bit more potential bullish. US oil, not so much, but natural gas, definitely possible. We can adjust this range a little bit. Unfortunately, it's under this support trend line, but sometimes you can have a breakthrough back up to the target of 27.26. So the line in the sand is about 21.70 on natural gas. Just something I noticed, right? There's some momentum on the daily here. The 4 hour, not quite super oversold, but as long as it holds there, might be an upside down head and shoulders on this last part of the price. Right? Let's just not be surprised if there's just one quick flash crash, okay? This double bottom would be a better price action to see. I want to see some healthy, something like that before it goes up. But the fact that it almost looks like an upside down head and shoulders, so that's something that caught my eye before the stream. UNG, maybe at 10%. If the fundamentals lines up and the price action holds. But if not, it could turn to a Bitcoin. Just bounce up really quick for 1 day to 22.23 and then crash down to 15.16. It is not impossible. So there's something I'm keeping an eye on the side for UNG. Right, just above that 50% retrace. Okay, next, let's just take a quick look at some of the earnings of what's even possible here. We got Bank of America tomorrow. Bank of America tomorrow, and let's just get some quick support and resistance levels going on. Still in the downtrend here. We have the earnings in the morning, tomorrow morning, AM. And so we're hovering above the 618 support level here. Okay, the yellow bar. And so the same kind of thinking applies, the analysis applies with the XLF ETF, okay, the financial sector ETF, is that we are still in the downtrend, the descending wedge, but we're finding level support right here above 29.42. Let's go ahead and bring up a different panel here. Okay, so the average move on the daily is about $1.10, which is about, let's just say rounded down to about, well, to be accurate, something about 3.5%. Okay, so 3.5% would be something like this type of move, right? So I'm not predicting the earnings, it's just the volatility. So 3.5% either up or down. The bullish target would be the 50% retrace right here at 32.81. The bearish target 30.61. And then if we double that, like a 7% target, could be something like 33.90. Or 29.41. Okay, so these are some of these targets. If it hits 29.41, that's back at the support level down here. So it's still in the downtrend, but the fact that we stopped here, at least for 1 week or for a couple days, is something to note on Bank of America. Okay, next, Netflix. Okay, Netflix obviously consolidating to the side. Somebody asked me for this TA a couple of weeks ago. Still going sideways. Still going sideways, Netflix. Okay, yes, they are going to finally launch their ad-supported tier in certain countries. It's good, but the fact that it's just consolidating, that's not the greatest setup ever to be seen on the charts. This just going sideways, it's not the greatest, but it is a consolidation play, right? Somebody could have swing trade this, maybe 1 or 2 times just for a quick 7 to 10%. But somebody could say, well, isn't this some kind of cup and handle at the bottom? Maybe. But for me, I'm just going to play it like a consolidation breakout or breakdown. So we have Netflix earnings tomorrow in the PM. Oh, it's Tuesday PM. Excuse me, not tomorrow. Tuesday PM. October 18th. And the measured move from this could be 7 to 15%. Let's see. About 6%, so probably 6 to 12% volatility on Netflix, whichever way it goes. Okay, so 6% would be the top of this box, 12% would be 258, 6% would be bottom of the box, negative 12% would be $200. So these large targets here, these might be a little bit too far. So the earnings targets in terms of these circles, I'm watching for. Personally, I don't play the break of earnings. I just wait a little bit after earnings just to see. I like to digest the earnings fully and not just have a reaction to 2 numbers. It's better to just digest it fully and see what the market reaction is as well. I'm talking about the financial company report. Okay, next up, let's just do a couple more big ones, like Tesla, for example, is very large. Okay, I do want to point out that technical analysis is helpful for price targets and for support resistance, trend analysis, because if you see these blue dots I have on this side, I marked this maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe about 2 weeks ago, and it hit every single target, right? Obviously to the downside, but I remember saying, watch out for this resistance. This is a double top. If it pulls back, I remember saying that on stream somewhere around maybe this zone. I remember when it didn't quite break the low yet of this side. So what was the measured move? Negative 17%. Where do we go down? Negative 20%. We already hit the first target, negative 17%, and that's where people kind of stopped, somewhere in this range, right? Right, negative 17, negative 20. The only good thing, let's erase this now. That setup is definitely over. Congratulations to anybody who shorted or put option that. But the fact that it's down near where? Now we're back down near a temporary level of support on Tesla. $205 is the level of support. Let's just confirm that on Fibonacci. Let's go to low to high. Support to resistance. Okay, that's hovering somewhere just below the 50% retrace. Okay, the next major level of support of Tesla major is 175. Let's just say 200. Let's keep it real easy for people. $200 is our current level of support on Tesla. 175 is the next target. The intermediate is 183, 191 in between there in the yellow lines. It's still technically downtrending. Low, high, low. This was a lower high, okay? Lower, lower high, lower low, lower high, and it's hesitating right now on earnings. So it's going to be make or break for Tesla on Wednesday p.m. This company earnings is going to come out. We already seen some of the reports. Why did it crash? Well, they had some sales problems, manufacturing problems. But the big line in the sand, 205 price is something I've been watching very closely. We lose that, we could get a little bit more downside. The only problem is some of these oscillators, it's hit oversold range on Tesla. That's why the bears, at some point, we might get a little bear short squeeze. If Tesla has any good earnings at all, we're probably going to get a pop up on Tesla, right? 4 hours oversold, 1 hour is oversold, 15 minutes oversold, 5 minutes is not oversold, but we're already starting to see a little bit of closing, right? Because if somebody shorts it all day on Friday, right, it might bounce up a little bit on Monday. It's not quite a perfect setup. It is a double bottom on 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, not quite double bottom on the price. So just keep that in mind. Is definitely possible to get a little bit more selling off because of the earnings, depending on how bad it is. But in terms of a daily move per day, about 6% volatility on the day, per day. Okay, so let's just mark that target. 6% would take us basically right back, right under the 50% retrace, 216.45. So we mark that on the charts. If we get 6% more downside, where's that? Let's see, about 191.40. Okay, and then 6.8 is 175. So just something to think about on Tesla. Next one. Still in the downtrend, so just watch out for that. It's just kind of low relative price. Next one, let's do one of these airlines. I'll just pick one here. Let's do American Airlines. American Airlines earnings on Thursday in the AM, okay, pre-market. Still downtrending, even though travel has picked up, and in most people's minds that I've seen, the pandemic is not really a huge threat to people's minds anymore. So, meaning that, well, if the infection rates stay low, then perhaps the pandemic is finally over. We have to see, right? A little bit more data needed for me to make that call, personally. But it's still downtrending here, right? It's still downtrending. We did find a little bit of support level here at 1311. And just like the financial sector, we're finding a temporary level of support, but the earnings will make or break. Let's see this company, AAL. Okay. About a just about a 5% move on the day average. So let's see where it could be 5 to 10%. 1382 is our first target. And 1457. So this kind of area, if we do happen to have a nice bullish bounce, what's the risk reward to that? Let's say where the candle is. If we do 6%, well, it has to be up here. So it's not the greatest risk reward today. 3 business days ago is pretty good risk reward. That's why it bounced. But it has to be something like this. Like that for a longer swing trade, like an 8 to 16. Not the greatest, kind of a large amount, but it does exist, right? The potential setup, just something to think about if we happen to bounce up bullish on American Airlines. However, it has faded down quite a bit for the past year in terms of travel, and companies kind of having problems with their guidance and revenue and sales. But it is at the 786. So if we think about it like this, 2021 high to low, it was 50% off discount on American Airlines stock. Okay, is the pandemic, is the inflation risk over? Personally, I don't think so. But there could be other data that confirms otherwise. So that's why I'm keeping both my my ears open to any changing news. And if we happen to break bullish, I mean, we could have a nice sustained rally off this low. The same is also true if we have, if it's really bad, worst case, I mean, we hit back to pandemic lows. But that'd be a great place to buy some. Okay, let's do one more. I'll do, let's do a communications company. Let's do Verizon. This is on Friday, I believe. So Verizon not doing so well, but still, the company exists. And obviously way, way low below our pandemic low. So here's an example of where bearish momentum and company earnings, if it's not so great or mixed, and the sector's bad, you get some relative weakness in the market. So this is a huge short in terms of we lost the pandemic lows here on August 2022 and faded down an additional negative 15%. This is a short seller's dream right here. Still, if we back up on the price here, let's take a deep look here. Let's go to like the previous recession low to our pandemic high. If we do it at weekly like this, it's not impossible to see that on a weekly chart, okay, faded way down, but then the 50% is about $34, $33.86. The 618 is 28.54 on this weekly chart. Is Verizon oversold? Well, it's stuck in the oversold range. So one thing I do want to conclude with on the stock section here is there are many stocks in the stock market right now that in terms of certain oscillators, it is in the oversold range, even though it can get crushed a little bit lower. But the conclusion is, just like my idea in SPY and Bitcoin, is if we continue to sell off, at some point, there will be a bounce. Okay, so bulls, if somebody's a bull, being patient for that. Maybe not this particular stock, but in the market as a whole, if we go back to S&P 500, right? At some point, even if it's downtrend, there is some rally. It's just usually short-lived in a downtrend. Okay, obviously right now it is downtrending, so there is short bias on every rejection. But usually, what's the general kind of consensus, right? Most people, the general rule of thumb, guideline, this is not financial advice, but if you just search Google quotes, we try to buy low and sell high for longs, right? Where on the chart, where is that? Right here on this vertical area, buy low, sell high. This was an earnings pop led by Apple and back in June. I remember this. Apple tech stocks, we had a great rally. It was a 14% rally on that SPY with only 3% risk needed at that time. But the opposite for shorting is also true. For shorting, it's sell high, buy low, the exact opposite. So am I going to short down here? Probably not. Where would I want to short? At the highest spot I can possibly wait for, right? I actually got stopped out here one time, but I shorted on the right side of here and I caught that side, right? So sometimes it happens. Shorting can be dangerous, right? There is an exact opposite retracement, right? I actually also shorted on Friday. Okay, so that's why it was a relative high on that day. So the what's happening these days in a lot of stocks is you get a little rally and short-lived short. It's a rally, short that, because it's downtrend, right? But if it's uptrending, that is not the case. It's the uptrend is the opposite, right? Even for me, it's higher high, higher low, then buy the dip, higher high, higher low, buy the dip, higher higher low, buy the dip. It's getting kind of super dangerous though. And then at some point, when you get gaps up, it's time to sell, right? This is a general strategy that's taught all over Google and YouTube and TradingView. Okay, but putting it to practice in real time is the real trick. So let's move on to crypto right now and apply these concepts and continue to move forward. Thank you for watching on TradingView YouTube and Twitch. I know, kind of in these at this time when there's earnings and there's a lot of bad things going on in the world. It's difficult to stay, confident in the market. I know a lot of people who have quit this market, or people just don't even trade anymore, or don't invest anymore, don't even look anymore and that is one strategy, right? Just wait until the crash is over. That is really one strategy out there. So, there's many different ways to approach the market. All right, let's move on to crypto. We'll do about 30 minutes and then we'll call it today. I'll see if you have requests, just let me know for crypto. Go ahead, type it in the chat. I am streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch, and we have Discord. If you like this stream, you want to support or follow or donate, just go ahead and follow on any of these platforms. Appreciate it. I try to do, good quality technical analysis here for stocks and crypto. All right. So total crypto market cap. Good thing we're holding above. We marked it last time. I marked it last time. Okay, 850 billion. 850 billion. We're going sideways in this symmetrical triangle, the entire crypto market, depending on earnings, right? If we have bad earnings, probably Bitcoin's going to take another dip to the downside, right? It's very obvious it can do that. In terms of the low to high, it's quite a large range though. 40%, maybe 20%. That's why the crypto market is building and it wants to build. It's building pressure. Okay, you can see that here, even on the weekly, it's building pressure. It's open MACD, which on a weekly, if we hold above this higher low at 850 billion, hopefully we could rally 30-40% in the crypto market as a whole, which would be phenomenal for altcoins as well over time. So the only thing for total is we have to hold the support level above 877 and see, you can see here, if the risk reward for the crypto market space, what is it? It's like almost 3-to-1, right? Almost 3-to-1 reward to risk, 50% to 3% downside, 5%, somewhere, it's approximate. Okay, so the big story, the summary is, as long as we hold above these June 2022 lows in the circle here, the crypto market is actually in okay shape, because the fact that we're going sideways, I'd rather go sideways than down in terms of trend, right? Sideways gives us a chance to actually recover and go back up. If it's pure downtrend, it's going down like 100%, okay? So the fact that it's going sideways is good. All right, let's get some targets. So the bullish target is still up here at 1 trillion, all right? And the support level is still 861, and I'm going to move this support level down here to 750. We need to never go below 800 billion we need to never go below 775 billion on the crypto market cap to hold the higher low so we could break out to the upside if somebody's trying to play bull, right? If all earnings are bad, worst case scenario, this thing will just crash down to 700 billion. So let's just remember those numbers as traders and analysts. Okay, Bitcoin, BTC, USD, finally we're here. Still, like I said, Bitcoin, all it needs to do simply is hold above 18,000 US dollars. That's all Bitcoin needs to do. Stay alive here, Bitcoin. Right? Hodlers are just hodling right now. Okay? And traders, they're patiently watching. There's a descending triangle. Okay, that's kind of bad in terms of the actual pattern formation. It's either a -20 to -30% risk to downside. So let's just understand the downside first. It's 15,000. That's 12,000. 15,000 to $12,000 Bitcoin downside targets. However, if this happens to turn into a nice upside down head and shoulders, a bit of inverse BART pattern, right? We could easily rally 10% if earnings starts to be good in the tech sector in the next 2 to 3 weeks, right? So the 18,000 range is still very, very, very important for Bitcoin. It would be nice to get a rally, pull back, and then rally up, because Bitcoin, a lot of coins have been oversold for a little bit while, or at least 50% off. Okay, so just something to think about if somebody's a crypto investor or trader is, let's not just ignore the market here. It's still keep an eye, at least keep one eye on it once in a while. So the upside target could be 20,000, 22,000. The big target up here, 25,000. So let's keep an eye on both of those targets. Let's move on to Ethereum USD. Ethereum USD, very similar in that we're holding a higher low in terms of weekly. In terms of weekly, let's get this Fibonacci here. Get our support levels on the market. Pandemic low to pandemic high. Okay, holding above the 786, not a problem for now. This is totally normal. You have the high. So the only good thing is maybe we might have a trend change. Going from downtrend, something like this, downtrend, to maybe an uptrend reversal. Maybe. One could also say, well, it's just symmetrical triangle going sideways. Okay, somebody could say that as well. right? So it's maybe. If we're really honest with ourselves, symmetrical triangle, just like total market cap. But then in terms of the move here, I mean, Ethereum could go 100%. Ethereum could go 50% in terms of if this is the real measured move. It's literally 100%. So the target, let's do half of that for realistic. Half of that would be $2,000 Ethereum. Over time, it could go back to 25.85. That if there's a large short squeeze, those are the two Fibonacci targets on the upside. But if it's the reverse is true, where is that? 1034. Maybe 642 on the downside, right? These two numbers. Like I want to point out is in terms of the weekly, there's still large weekly momentum. It just needs to hold that higher low. It could take months to play out, but 50% to 100% on the number 2 crypto in the world opportunity in either direction. I mean, that's a swing trade. That's a real swing trade. Okay, or it could be even considered an investment over time. But buying into, with this inflation recession risk, that's why I'm being a little bit more hesitant than usual, because we're in a different monetary environment. It's inflation. If you're living in America or any European country right now, well, not any, but most major European countries and America, North America, we have high inflation right now because of, it all started with the pandemic and stimulus checks, right? And so we have high inflation right now. So if just to my thinking is if everybody's mortgage increased 6% and rent increased 5 to 6% and people need to pay thousands more dollars, that's thousands more dollars people are not going to invest into stocks and crypto. People are going to sell their stocks and get their cash back during these hard financial times, where 70% of people surveyed are trying to either make more money or save more money because inflation has raised the price of food and gas and rent and mortgages. So there's that issue, right? So we might not see a huge Bitcoin Christmas rally or something like that until we see very, very clear reversal signals in the stock market, and the crypto market will probably follow along with that, as well as the currency market. Thank you for the follow on trading view. Appreciate that. So just something to watch out for on Ethereum. We're literally going sideways. But like I said, I would rather go sideways than down if somebody's a bull, right? The immediate support level I'm watching, 1269. Let me change this color. 1269 is the immediate level of support. All right, we lose 1269, there might be a problem here. Right, because it could be low, high, low. If we get one more lower high bounce, that would take us to the high of the sim triangle. We might tighten up in this equilibrium here down to 1321. This is definitely possible, and they could break the downside, or break the upside. Something to watch out for. All right, Binance Coin. Let's do BNB. Alrighty, so Binance Coin. Just to note that the news, there has been some issues with Binance in terms of, I think there's a hack on one of their on one of their projects they're looking at, and there's some kind of like a lawsuit thing or something like that. So Binance has had its fair share of public issues, but Binance Coin is still alive. Binance Coin is still alive. It's still pretty high, but like I said, if this happens to turn into an inverse head and shoulders bullish setup, that would be a beautiful investment setup. If crypto starts to rally, that'd be 60% to the upside, which would take us back to basically $500 Binance Coin, right? That's the long-term investment. But as it stands right now, it's still fading. It could be a continuation play, right? Sometimes we see this happen. So that's why it's holding above the 618 level multiple times, the multiple points of liquidity buying here at 260. Okay, so somebody is trying to hold that 260 level on the higher low. Now on the intraday, we could definitely fall below 244. Definitely possible. There's a small Fibonacci range here. Okay, that's the 618 right here in 240 price. But as long as we hold the support level, it's all about support. So kind of this theme of the stream today is support levels. Is it going to hold? Yes or no? And that's going to determine, basically, at least for technical analysis, can we get a trend change or not in stocks or crypto? Okay. As it stands right now, the daily is in a daily downtrend. All right. It's not in complete uptrend like this part. It's in a daily downtrend. All right. Well, to get out of there, it just needs to break out, then continue that daily uptrend. So they watch out for Binance Coin. There's some momentum building. There's definitely momentum. There was momentum building on the weekly, but even if it pulls back, you could see on the weekly here, as long as we never go below $200, it's actually normal. That's a normal downtrend pullback. Low, high, of course. And then it's going to go down. But the fact is, if we never crash down below $200, it's actually showing strength. And we might have a chance at this rally. Once all this inflation and recession fear, we need to get through it first. It's not just fear, it's actually real in the economy. All right, let's keep moving along here on this crypto list. If you have a request for a crypto ticker, just go ahead and let me know. Or we'll do a little bit of Forex as well because of what's happening with the Great British Pound at the end of the stream. Let's do Solana. So looking at Solana. So this was just an example of risk reward. This is not a real trade. But if somebody's trying to invest here in terms of Solana, not the most trusted crypto anymore after it failed once, but it is holding a support level on the blue line, which is about $30. So if $30 holds, right, and we're pending, and this is under the assumption that the stock market globally is not going to crash on recession too much further, right? If we get a global crash, then cryptos will probably crash as well down to this target of $20. But if we hold, you could see the risk reward is there as an investor. It's 25% to downside with 50% upside risk. How long is that going to take? It could take 2-3 months. That's why the waiting period is kind of boring when we're waiting for setups as an investor, right? Just want to watch out. It is mixed. I've seen this before where on daily it looks like it's going to go up. On a weekly, there's actually a bearish pattern, right? So this is why the support level of $28, $30 is extremely critical on Solana. Because if it breaks, this thing is crashing down hard, possibly, right? Crypto can always crash negative 90% from its high. So negative 90, 80 to 90% down. I'm going to log scale, by the way. Let me switch it back to normal, right? This is what it looks like in normal view. Okay. So normal view, it did crash quite a bit. If we look at normal view, just regular linear charts, right? It crashed down already negative 80, 90. Okay. Could go a little bit further. On a log chart, just want to watch out. Okay. So it depends on somebody's perspective on that. But the fact that we have this huge MACD momentum here, I'm hoping we're going to get one more lower high bounce at least. Meaning we get one more big bounce up to this $50 range, which would be the 50% target. Does that make sense? So we'll see what happens with that setup. Cardano. Okay, Cardano, you see him here. Basically closed it between two boxes, the rectangle on the side, right? What's the range here? About 30%. So the thing with Cardano is it's continuous downtrend continuation on this weekly chart. Let's go to a daily chart. Still downtrend continuation, right? Low high, low high, low high. Try to hit the lower low. Then it's probably going to hit a lower high down here. To get some accurate numbers, we'll just get some Fibonacci from pandemic low high. Holding above is 0.88 retrace, or in the zone. It was holding above 0.88. Actually, to be accurate, it's below that now. So that could be a problem for Cardano. Because where's the measured move? 45% downside. Ooh, if that happens, that's 22-cent Cardano. Or at least 30-cent Cardano, right? So if we get that downtrend continuation on selling momentum because of futures sellers, that could be a problem. Or it's just a fake out of support, right? What somebody could do with big money is like a market maker is they're going stop hunting. They're trying to kick all the stop losses out, right? Because if somebody bought right here and they put their stop right under here, a lot of Algorithms are designed to kick all the stops, take their position, flip long, and then take the profit. So you just want to, with crypto, we don't want to get faked out too much. We don't want to get faked out too much on crypto. Okay, it is kind of oversold in the 4-hour, still downtrending. As long as it holds, I want to see a little bit of uptrend evidence before somebody enters this trade. But we don't want to get fooled in terms of it actually going to flip and go long. But if it happens to sell off, that's not impossible either, because a lot of these 5-15 minute, these shorter term time frames, not oversold. It was super oversold on October 13th, 3 o'clock in the morning, my time, and it went 11% in one day. These are the kind of setups that somebody wants to get, right? If somebody's a long, you wait for the crash, wait for the lowest price possible, and then enter in your time zone, and then then do this, right? This is why you don't hear me trying to chase every single crypto setup on the chart, is because I learned from experience and from practice and study is anytime you try to chase the crypto price, the algorithms and the market makers will crush. They'll deny that trade. But the higher chance of probability of, for me at least, in my style, is trying to catch one of these the lowest of the lows in the zone, right? Because right now this R sign, the hourly, is at what, 50. That's in the middle. That's not low. That's not low. Down here was low when the R sign was 12. That was low. And again, it happened here on October 10th, except it was a very, very short-lived rally. Need a trailing stop on that one, right? There's like 2% gain on that one. It's not that much for swing trading. But here there's a 6%, very nice. And this actually happened last Thursday, just like the stock market, right? Okay, somebody wants to request USPT. Oh no, UPST. Upstart. Okay, we're going back to stocks right now. So hopefully if you just jumped in the stream right now, thank you. We did cover all the indexes in the beginning, especially NASDAQ. Okay, so let's look at Upstart. Just a quick look here on TradingView. The volume, about 4 million here on TradingView. Market cap, 1.6 billion. 69 million shares float. No dividends. And then some of the financial. It's a cloud-based artificial AI lending. Okay, interesting. So it's like a fintech. Okay. So now that we have that in mind, we have to remember this stock is inside of the NASDAQ stock. So before we even do the analysis, first thing I do is look at NASDAQ itself, QQQ. And so we just have to know, if you rewind to my analysis, is we lost the support above 269 on QQQ, and we're holding above the 618 right now. It is sort of on the low side, the momentum, but then we have a bunch of American stock earnings coming out. There's dozens of companies, Netflix, Tesla, American Airlines, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, etc., at the beginning of this stream, that is going to affect the volatility of the USA stock market. So UPST is probably just going to follow whatever the larger market move is. Okay, so meaning if SPY and QQQ is going to crash, most likely Upstart is going to crash, UPST. If QQQ and SPY, S&P 500, NASDAQ rallies, then Upstart will probably rally. So in this particular case, because we're in week 2 of earnings season here in America, I would say this correlation is probably pretty strong with the NASDAQ index. Now, to get individual with this is, yes, it is below the pandemic. It is below the IPO starting price, right? The IPO starting price was $23.29. Right now, or last week, the price is literally $22.94. It's basically IPO starting price. We have earnings on this company on November 8, 2022. So after all the tech earnings come out, this company will have earnings as well. All right, so we know that it's at a low retrace, but just because it's low here, just to make sure, food for thought, is it does not mean the price can never go lower. Case in point is something like Rivian, right? Rivian, I remember people were talking about Rivian over here when it hits the starting IPO price. So it's kind of like UPST is kind of in this zone of Rivian, right? If it's in a downtrend and nothing good happens with earnings and company news, this could happen on this company, on UPST. You could crash down a significant amount way below the IPO price. And then somewhere down here, you might get a rally somewhere down here. I mean, on Rivian, it was negative 70% to the downside. Now on UPST, right? If it went up 2000% and it crashed back down 2000%, or not 2000%, but basically negative 90% off, it's not impossible for this thing to keep going lower. You just really want to watch out for that. I just want to, so what we're focusing on is risk first, okay? So it's not about, this is not financial advice, but we just never want to be the guy who buys right now. And if this thing keeps crashing, we're going to hold forever. That's not really good trade management, risk management. So risk management in this particular case is, well, what's the lowest low on the chart right now? 1973. Stop level, let's say 1973. Okay. So let me check something really quick on a different chart. So again, I'm not saying anything bad about this company. It's just comparing some of these IPOs versus IPO and what's even possible with it. So this thing moves about $2 a day, average. So probably have to go something, the stop loss, something like this. So this is a very volatile stock. It's only 69 million float, 70 million float. It's almost like a crypto. So probably this is going to be an investment, right? It's 20% in terms of the stop loss down here, 25% on a small, medium-sized amount of capital, only risking 1%, right? But then the upside potential, there's multiple resistances here that if it happens to rally, now we're talking about the bullish case, the top side case, if it goes up, is then you see the targets. You can actually see the targets, 28.59, 36.49, $55, and $72 to the upside potential, right? But then still the risk to even get 100% is still about at least 12 to 25% downside risk minimum, because of what is happening in the market right now. So in conclusion is UPST is highly correlated with the NASDAQ, right? Once 2022 started crashing, then UPST started crashing as well. Although it is at its IPO starting price, and it does seem to be, it's not quite super oversold here down on these oscillators either. There is momentum on the weekly, so eventually UPST might rally, but there could be some mixed price action. It might go down, it might go up, right? Depending on the earnings. Okay, so please just want to put that out there. The two scenarios we looked at, if it goes down and if it goes up as well. And this is not financial advice. All right, let's keep going here. Let's finish up on the cryptos. We'll just go a little bit faster here. Just look at a visual on the AVAX. So we'll look at AVAX USDT. All right, AVAX, it is at a nice double bottom range, above $15. So if you could hold that, we saw with the last double bottom we had on AVAX back in August 2021, we had a nice rally. That was 1,000%. Beautiful. So if we can hold this again, try to get $15, we could easily rally 100%, go to 30. It might not go 1,000%, but that's best case if Bitcoin really rallies back up to like 65,000 or something like that. Then we get 300% on this. But still, if this holds above $14, $15 on AVAX USDT crypto, be nice. Just a nice setup. DOT, kind of falling into its Cardano range, ADA. Just like Cardano, it's right piercing into the support level. If we zoom in a lot, I might have to look on a 4-hour here. We already hit this range. This really choppy. The Thursday crash and then the rally for DOT. Okay, so even even cryptocurrencies are highly correlated with stocks right now. This is exactly what happened in the stock market on Thursday and Friday. We crashed down. We had the rally on CPI data at 8:30 in the morning, or 9 to 9:30. Then the pullback on Friday, right? Now, crypto's 24/7, so 7 days a week. So we already had this relief bounce on the Monday, right? Asia session, European session. So let us not forget about the stock market correlations here. Okay, Doge USDT. Doge riding this trend line, going in a sideways wedge. The as long as we hold above 5 cents, it's almost like Ethereum. We're in good shape here. We're in good shape. Yeah, in terms of it is relative price, right? If the price was still up here at 9 cents, I would not say buy that because it's at the relative high zone. It is nearing the relative low zone, so it is possible. Still in a downtrend though. The problem with timing downtrends is where's the bottom, right? Everybody's wondering that right now. For penny stocks, for altcoins, for big market cap, large mega cap stocks, for Forex, everyone's wondering where's the bottom? Where's the bottom? Now time will tell. Time will tell. That's why every week I keep coming back, right? Because at some point the bottom will be here, and then I need to buy bullish, right? But so far for a year we've been selling. The short setups have been working. So just keep that in mind. The support level right here on this trend line, right above 6 cents. We're looking at that, holding that. Shiba Inu as well. We had the upside down head and shoulders into the fade back down. The fade back down into support. So where is this? Right above the 76, kind of hard to see, still in the downtrend. Okay, so this is not the healthiest for Shiba Inu because it was an uptrend, huge pop off to the upside, could not sustain, coming back to the downside. Right? Is it oversold? No. Is it? It was on Thursday, right? This is what I'm saying. Any crypto trader who can set alerts, who's awake, who can find correlations with the stock market, this is that perfect setup. Boom, right here, this nice bounce on Thursday. I was playing stocks during this time, so I was not doing crypto. It was 15%. So same thing, it almost looks like Ethereum. There's liquidity, someone buying down here at 942. So if we could hold that higher low on crypto, that would be good for this as well. Go a little faster here, Matic. Matic did not fall back down as much. The 66 cents or 60 cents where the 50% 6.8 retraces. So that's good for Matic. But at the same time, Matic reminds me of Netflix for some reason. This chart, it's almost similar, right? You had a huge crash, a rally, and then now we're just going sideways. So it's just consolidating right now. That's all it's doing right now. So the support it has to hold above is 75 cents. Atom, crypto, and it's nice uptrend, and then but it's pulling back, starting to fade down. So charts like these can be a little bit tricky because the question becomes: is it just a retrace halfway before we go up? That's one bullish scenario, definitely possible. Or is it actually the start of a downtrend? Low high, that's still a lower high. We could definitely retrace 50% or all the way back down to 542. Right? So there could be some pain in store for Cosmos unless we hold the support level like at $8.50 or even $10 and then rally bounce off of that to the upside. Okay. All right. So nearing the end of the stream here, near USDT hitting our low. Okay. So somebody asked me for near months ago, even last year. Interesting that there's a little dinosaur here. What is it? I just realized I've never seen this dinosaur icon on TradingView before. That's funny. I mean, it's really useful. This is really great. This is a genius idea. So near USDT, it is holding above its 0.88 retrace, right? 0.88 retrace. So it is in some kind of general areas, negative 80% off, not quite negative 90% off or 95% off in terms of the money, right? In terms of the discount. There's a 90% off area of value down here at 175 from near. Once we had this double top, I said, watch out, everybody. Watch out. Just like Tesla setup is you have the resistance and then we can pull back a lot. How much was a lot? Maybe 50% down. And where do we go? 70% down. Okay. So near, it is in its oversold range, but the last time we got into the oversold range, it was the beginning of a downtrend capitulation, meaning near crash down an additional negative 50%. So just want to watch out for that. If that happens, we want to try to buy as low as possible. Okay, next. I'm not going to do every single one of these. Litecoin, all I'll say is trying to hold above its pandemic lows. Litecoin, one of our the old coins here. If we take the low close to the high close, we're below the 0.88 from high to low. We're about 85% off on this crypto. Previously, let's say from the Christmas 2017 to the bottom of the 2019 crash, and crypto is negative 93% off. That's why there might be a little bit more downside risk for crypto before we have a true capitulation crash because inflation, interest rates, and just recession risk. We might go, it's possible cryptos could go lower too. That's why in the back of my mind, I have this idea that even if we crash, I'm ready for it in terms of it's fine, right? I'm not holding crypto all the way down from 376 all the way down here. No, that's a total complete loss. It's low, high, low, high, low. If this is our lower high, it's definitely possible to get one more lower low in the next 3 to 6 months. We might get one pop-up rally, but then eventually it could go lower on some of these cryptos. If we have pandemic lows again, this is where people are starting to get really interested to buy some altcoins. When you get this low price. So please watch out for that. The flip side is true. If we happen to rally, if everything is good, okay. All right, 71 and $100 is the upside target. Very nice potential trade. Uni trying to hold a higher low. Link is, this could be interesting for Link if this happens to be an upside down head and shoulders. Very beautiful potential bull setup here. It could go 70% to the upside over time if the whole market global assets rise. If not, we can see there's quite a ways down here from pandemic lows, pandemic highs. I actually have to rewind further to lower below the 0.88, right? The trend line is saying, ooh, it's right there. It has to break out. Like, I mean, what is Link? Link has to break out or else it's in trouble. So something to watch out for there. Tron just holding at the support level, the sim triangle, almost trying to make a head and shoulders pattern, but Tron very correlated with the stock market these last 2 daily candles. So the only thing here I'm going to say on Tron is potential upside down head and shoulders here on 6%, right? So 6-7% would be about like $7 the upside here. Let's watch out for that. As long as Tron can hold above 6 cents, it's fine. Bitcoin Cash, pretty much following Bitcoin. Let's see, Bitcoin Cash from high to low. That's 90% off. 90% off Bitcoin Cash. It's below its pandemic low. So there is some cryptos have a setup and some don't. So it's not all of them. But Bitcoin Cash, everybody kind of forgot about it. But you know, there's about 20 to 50% upside if this thing starts to rally. If we have a true trend change, I mean, you might get hundreds of percent in the next bull cycle. Not quite oversold on the daily though, that's the problem. Okay, Ethereum Classic. See if it can make an upside down head and shoulders. This looks like Dogecoin a little bit in terms of this formation. It's obviously retracing about 50%, 618 right here at $22. $22, right? So $22 or $20, right? So right here, just want to watch out for that. This almost looks like Binance coin. So if this thing rallies, could get a short squeeze 90% up to $80. Right, just watch out for that. Obviously, the downside target is what? $14 down here. Is there momentum? It is interesting. ETC does have some oversold conditions. I want to keep an eye on that. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that. Algo, let's just say going sideways, holding support above 28 cents. Good. Stellar, holding above 10 cents, going sideways. That is fine. That's fine. as long as we hold above it. Same thing with VeChain, holding above 2 cents, beautiful. VeChain, however, on this weekly, will it double bottom? Start to look a little bit suspicious, right? Hitting all our targets to the downside, this little chart. Folding below the descending wedge, and that's 86% off with some potential momentum building right at a support level on the left side here. VeChain. Might be interesting. VeChain, 90% off, holding a support level right above 2 cents. Very interesting. I have to keep that in mind. All right, so where are the targets though? The 50% to the upside, right? So this is an investment right here. Where's the target? Let's say 2 cents even. The downside. And then right here is 50%. So the average true range is probably much larger than this. I don't have it pulled up, but it's probably a real investment. 20%, 25% downside, 50% risk. This is a true investing. All right. Mana fading, but holding below the 0.88, just below that. Filecoin holding above support right above $5. HBAR, a little bit of potential bullish momentum right above 5 cents. Waves in the downtrend. However, this is starting to look suspicious. From its highs, 92% off. Very, very interesting for now, level of value. Very, very steep descending wedge. So sometimes you get a big breakout. Could tap up all the way to 650. So something to watch out for. It is downtrending, but 90% off. Very interesting. EGLD holding above support. Phantom holding back. AXS and ecstasy pulling back. Okay, let's do this. And we'll end soon. That's just like an ApeCoin. Kind of forgot about ApeCoin on the stream, but ApeCoin right here. In terms of the Fibonacci, still going sideways. And I remember talking to somebody maybe back here. It must have been back in August of watch out for if this thing happens to downtrend. And it actually did. It pulled back, made a lower low, and now it's going sideways. So now the chart is looking very much like Bitcoin, sideways. Potential volatility either direction, 40 to 80%. Okay, but then on downside, you have 40.30 as support. You have 328 as support, $3 as support. A lot of supports on downside because of Fibonacci extension to go backwards. Fibonacci and then reverse this thing. This is very advanced. Doesn't always work. But you could see some the downside targets here. So what is this, like 280, 240, $2, 180, all of that down here. Just watch out for this ApeCoin. If it's long, we just try to buy as low as possible. But this thing almost looks like a ICO IPO, right? If this is the ICO starting price, it rallied, huge crash, short squeeze, lower high, higher low, lower high, and the equilibrium tightening, right? So this thing is ready to blow at some point, either direction. Okay, let's close off with some Forex here at the end. Some of the Forex majors. Let's take a look at Euro USD. So actually Euro USD, unfortunately still in the downtrend. It's lost that dollar parity way back in September. That made the news. So let's get that on the chart. This is the $1 parity. Right here, we're under that right now. Right? You have to look at some very, very straight. It's not even showing on this chart. I mean, you have to go to a different chart that has tons of data, right? We're basically at 2002 levels of Euro USD, right? So this is probably not going to stop until there is an inverse correlation with DXY. But you know, this is going to be more of a fundamental global economic change before this thing can recover, before Euro USD can recover. Let's quickly go to DXY. Okay, so you see the US dollar currency index is the exact opposite, basically. And we had this nice double bottom. It is getting a little bit kind of overextended, but this particular learned over time this year, it's less about the technicals and more about the fundamentals for DXY, right? It's still uptrending. There's no sign yet. Maybe there's a little bit of sign before I logged in today as well. This could be a lower high. We've had a series of higher highs, higher lows, but then this could be our first lower high on DXY. If this thing crashes, maybe we'll get a rally on the stock market. It really depends. So I'm not basing it 100% on charts. It's just there are a little bit of clues, a little bit of clues. Let's look at USD JPY. Somebody asked me for this. Still in the uptrend, obvious. Still in the uptrend. We can get some of these. Aha. So just about to break out. Okay, it's attempting to break out. We had a continuation flag with a bullish breakout. Very, very uptrending forex pair, just like DXY, right? So this is going to be basically government based. The only thing I'll watch out for technicals is if we happen to have this kind of setup again. This is what I'm really staring at charts. This purple line between these two purple lines is you have high RSI and then you have a double top on the high RSI and then it starts to go sideways and then you had a pullback. It's not a crash. A lot of pips here. In terms of percentage, is -3%. So if this happens again, -3% would bring us back down to about 143 or 144, and that would be the support level of this trend line right here. There's something to watch out for on USD JPY, right? Because that's starting to form. This pink box, it's already here. Excuse me. It's already here. So at some point, it might happen again, the pullback. So hopefully people are not going to get crushed in USD JPY. Okay, next one, we look at Great British Pound USD. It's similar to Euro USD, and there's been some additional news from the UK of what's going on with that. It's wild, but it's basically government policy changes. So just something to think about is, at least on this chart, I have to bring a different one. At least on these charts, I mean, they're pretty much lowest levels since 2002. And that pretty much lowest level, right? The only good thing is it is still in an oversold range. It's probably going to take some major government changes to really change the policy, which will affect this, right? I mean, inflation has to stop, basically. Inflation just has to stop, right? So there's certain fundamental real life events. So we're talking Russia-Ukraine war. We're talking about inflation and interest rates, and we're also talking about just technical setups and fundamental corporate earnings. Hello, YouTube. Somebody's asking me what am I watching for tomorrow. Everything I'm covering on this stream. So we're gonna end soon, and then I'll put the list out in about an hour from now of what did I look at today. Keep in mind, this is a swing trading investing, so this is not a scalping or day trading stream, in case that's what you're looking for. But thank you for watching and joining. Let's do one more. Somebody asked me one time for New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. So let's close off. Let's end with this one. Somebody asked me for this one time. Let's do it again. We're going sideways, right? I think it was one of these pullbacks. I don't remember exactly which one it was. It might have been this one, the September. I have to look back, but somebody's asking me what's going to happen. We did have a small rally, but we did fade back down into this double bottom. So now the support level is about 80, 18. Okay, the 1 to 2% risk might have been too small, right? Let's see. Actually, no, it's still good. Just barely maybe got stopped down this one day if somebody bought like right here at the one spot we were talking about. But that's trading, and then try to re-enter down here. There are definitely several trades, several long trades as well, right? So just something to think about. Okay, yes, and somebody did comment, yes. If you're in my Discord, you'll see that the news that we're talking about, we already include China and Taiwan into that. So just something to watch out for here above 80. So as long as that holds, but in terms of the daily going sideways, is it's still in a large sideways trend, okay, with some little pops on the downside and the upside. The good thing is, as long as it holds, this actually could be a double bottom on the daily here. A little dirty, but it could be here, and it could rally an additional 2%. It's possible. That's one setup, or it'll just fall back down 2% back down to 80.91. Okay, so again, please keep in mind, everybody, this is a swing trading stream and a longer term investing stream. So the targets are much larger. The analysis is much longer time frames. And again, I'm streaming on TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch and Discord. Thanks so much for following today and chatting. That's gonna be all for the stream today. Hope you have a nice trading week and investing week. Let's stay strong through these global times and through the stock market earnings as well. Thank you for joining and watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.